Greetings, Goddess Body, Mind, Spirit community. This is your Goddess Guru, Tyra Omilade. Y'all know I love helping women align with their life purpose using ancient wisdom so that they confidently and courageously live the amazing lives they know they deserve. It's all about the goddess-centered lifestyle. And for me, the goddess-centered lifestyle does include studying this wonderful, glorious spiritual tradition called Ifa, or the Orisha tradition. I wanted to come on today and talk about where am I with this tradition. And I share my story in hopes that it will help some of you, because I started this channel sharing about my experience. Well, I actually didn't start this channel talking about Ifa. I started this channel talking about the goddess. However, I have some of the videos that are my most popular and people have found me through were me processing my understanding of my relationship with my Arisha and this spiritual tradition. And so a lot of times people ask me about Ifa, and I have conversations quite often about this spiritual tradition. So I want to get on and share a little bit about it, because it hurts me to see people so desirous of being a part of this spiritual tradition and feeling like, I don't know how to get in. I don't know how to make this work. And so I'm just going to share sort of stream of consciousness, just a few things I think is important for everybody to know. I am not an expert on talking about Ifa. I accept it. This will not be a tradition that I will be able to teach people. I do have the ability to perhaps at some point start doing Eleke ceremonies, which is the first ceremony to come into Ifa. But then I would have to pass people on to my friends who are priests and priestesses within this tradition, because this is not a tradition that I have been able to grasp enough that would make it a rich experience for people. However, Ifa and the Arisha tradition are 100% a part of what I do. I've even found through testing, DNA testing, that I have ancestors that were of Yoruba descent. I call myself gumbo because I got everything. All right. This is why I love all Afro culture. I got it all, baby. So yeah, I'm not the one who can really teach you anything, but it's so many people that want to be a part of this tradition. I just feel the need to say to you that, first and foremost, this is a 6,000-year-old tradition that has endured one of the most traumatic, how do I want to say it? One of the most traumatic things that has ever happened in the world, like in all of history. The enslavement of whole groups of people, millions of people, millions upon millions of people, enslaved, brought from their culture in Africa to these Americas, and treated horribly, not just enslaved, but oh my God, like, it's a horrible tradition, right? I mean, not a horrible tradition, it's a horrible thing that happened. It's early in the morning, my brain isn't fully turned on. Pardon me not using like the highest vocabulary, okay? But anywho, so this religion became one of the primaries. And see, this is one of the reasons I don't like teaching a whole lot, because I can't give all the history. But I'll bring people on to talk about this, because it's very interesting to understand, why is it that everybody wants to be a part of Ifa? And this particular religion is what became the predominant one throughout the diaspora. And it became morphed as it got over here, because we weren't in Africa anymore. And not everybody whose ancestors over here practice these versions of Ifa, Santeria, Candomblé, Lukumi. They weren't even from Nigeria. This is stuff that we all just started like putting together. Okay, don't forget the one from Trinidad. There's a tradition out of Trinidad also. So yes, it is a tradition that's 6,000 years old, but has had to make or it has had to survive the transatlantic slave trade. It has had to survive colonialism or colonization in Africa because they changed. All right. And this is why I have to have other people come on and talk about it, because I'm very much into practical application of spirituality. Even though I know the history, I don't consider myself to be a historian. But I was talking to one of my friends, and she even talked about how, oh, Africa was sexist before the slave trade. All right. So we just gonna put that out there. It's certain cultures is influenced by, let's just be real, y'all. Something else I like to tell folk: Africans were not Muslim. Okay, this came from Muslim nations coming in and doing the same thing that these Christian nations came in and did in Africa. Okay, so Africa has its own challenges, is what I'm trying to say. And so that impacted this religion. And so when you're dealing with a religion like that, you cannot expect this thing to just be flawless. If you try to become a part of it, it's not going to be flawless. It's not going to be flawless. You are fortunate if you find a teacher who is consistent. I would think most of us who are priests and priestesses in this tradition, we have good intentions. But shoots, if you got to go work a full-time job somewhere, it's hard being a full-time priest and priestess, right? um, the other thing is it's so oral, and it's a practitioner's tradition. So everything ain't written in a book. It's like we started kind of capturing it and other folk going over to capture it. I guess I don't know all that history, but I have some books where they were capturing the wisdom, and the wisdom of this tradition is called the Odu. And so you have people who don't speak, I don't think they spoke Yoruba in some kind of way, getting it translated to something. I don't know. It's been a mess. It's been a mess. Folks doing the best they can to try to get this thing not really codified, but put someplace where folk can understand what to do. But see, the thing is, when you go back to the motherland, they do it one way in one place and another way in another place. So it's not like everybody just got together. You think about the Nicene Council of the church. They just came together and said, this is what we're going to put together. This is what folks believe. And we all presenting a united front. That's not Ifa. Ain't no united front in Ifa other than we love Ifa. We love the Arisha. That's the one thing that I find most people, that's the common thread. We love this tradition. I love this tradition. But your teacher might teach you one way. My teacher might teach me another way. But yet, so many people who come from these religions where there's been some united front of pushing it all, this is how we do it. They trying to have us do this in E5. Oh, this is the only way to do it in E5, right? It's not true. Y'all coming to me like, I don't want to mess up. You can't mess up. The only way you can mess up, I'm going to tell you this is where I draw the line, okay? There are just certain things you should not do in E5 if you haven't been working with a teacher, which would be a priest or priestess who was initiated into this tradition. Like they truly went through an initiation with another human being. Now, we all know we don't get initiated by humans. The humans facilitate it. It's actually the Arisha, it's the energy of E5 that does the work, because it's an inner world, the inner landscape process. But I don't believe in reading a book, because see, this is the problem with the books. You read the book and we think we're going to be doing some of this stuff. You read the book and they say, if you're not initiated, don't do this, don't do it. That's where I say, follow those directions. But what is Arisha? Arisha is nature. I would say, you really want to get initiated by the Arisha, get out in nature. Go every day for a walk out in a wooded place. take every vacation you can somewhere in nature and just spend quiet time in nature. Because at the end of the day, those of us who initiated, that's what we do. Because we know no religion, nothing has a lock on the Arisha. That word Arisha comes from that language, but Arisha is nature. It's energy. Okay. And so you don't need an initiation to connect with Oshun. You don't need an initiation to connect with Shango. You don't have to be putting your foot officially on the path to connect with these Arisha. You can go get a reading without initiating. It's a lot you can do with this tradition that, doesn't require you to do a whole lot, but what you do, it will make a difference in your life. So one of the things I think is important for people to know is the magic is not actually in the religion. It's not in any religion. The magic is in you. Ifa is a way of understanding a path to enlightenment, a path to having balance in your life. There is no magic that you're going to find. You can do every initiation that is available. The magic is in you. The change, the shift is only going to happen if you allow it to happen, if you go for it to happen. And so, first and foremost, let's calm it down about trying to figure out what to do. Find a teacher. This is what I tell people. If you're going to do it, why not just do it? Why not just commit to a teacher who you can find? I know. Okay, let's talk about the teachers. It's not easy to find. I was talking about that. It's not all the time easy to find somebody who's doing this. You already know, if you look on my channel, Awo Omitosin. He just did an Eleke ceremony this weekend. This is June 8th. He just did one this past weekend. He helped people get their Elekes. All right, I got somebody you can work with. Now, you might have to come to him. Now, he ain't doing business online like me. He's a hands-on kind of guy. I trust him. And he had several priestesses and other priests with him. Like, it's a whole family of us that's doing this, right? There's OIDSI down in Texas. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm affiliated with them through one of my sister priestesses. That's her family down there. And she's a goddess priestess, but she's initiated through Ifa down there in Houston, Texas, OIDSI. I don't know nothing about Obafemi out in Obafemi O, Orisha Lifestyle out in California. But these are the people I say, hey, if you want to go on ahead and commit, just pick somebody and work with them. But the thing is this, when you start working with these teachers, it's no like, you're going to save me. You just need to be open to what is it that they have to share. And then how can you take that tool, whatever it is they've given you, how can you take that tool and make it work for you? So one of the things that I loved when I initiated, I had a simple Eleke ceremony. Is when you get an Eleke, which is the necklace. This is my goddess Eleke. But Elekes are the beaded necklaces that you see people in Ifa wearing. What my godmother taught me, and anytime, it's only been a few people that I've done this with, because it's a huge responsibility as I see it. But I told them the same thing. This Eleke is an altar. You're wearing an altar around your neck. And this altar carries the energy of that Arisha. So I was like, okay, cool. I know when I'm feeling lost or I feel disconnected. So let's say I want to put on my Obatala Eleke because I'm feeling like I know what Obatala stands for. I know what this energy means. I'm feeling off center. I'm feeling lack of peace. Okay, let me put on my Obatala Eleke. But I'm opening to connect with Obatala in me. Okay, I'm opening to connect with Obatala in me. The power is not actually in this Eleke. The power is this Eleke reminds me of the energy that's within me that I have access to. It gives me an opportunity to begin to make different choices in my life, to live my life in a different way. Okay. And so what is the teaching that your teacher gives you? Now you need to go apply it. You need to go do this work. Now, I ain't gonna lie. No disrespect to the ones that's part of Santeria. I don't mean you no disrespect, but that is a tradition I don't think I could do. Because, or Lukumi. It just, I don't see a lot of people really feeling successful because it's like so many rituals that you have to do and you have to do it in a certain manner. Well, if it doesn't align with your spirit and your energy, see, that's the thing I think is important for us to really get. This is a 6,000-year-old tradition, and then we can look at the ones that, broke off or branched off from them. Trying to take something that was created so long ago or created in response to being enslaved is not all the time going to be easily translated to what we doing today in this year 2021 is the making of this video. It's not always translatable. And so it's important for us to begin to understand we need to embrace the concept of using it as a framework or using it as a guiding principle. The thing that's important is, one of the things that I was thinking I would say in this video today is, when we think about people that are coming from the Buddhist tradition, for instance, half of them not trying to become that culture. See, we are so many of us who are wanting to embrace this tradition. Those of us who are Afro, we are so desirous of connecting with our ancestors. We feel that wound. And this looks like a nice way to bridge that gap. And in certain regards, it is, because it gave me a whole new way of understanding the world. It actually affirmed to a large extent what I already think and felt about how I see life and how I experience life. But in order to take on another religion the way most people are trying to take this religion on, as if it's going to fill in some ancestral gap, it's not a recipe for success. What I encourage you to do is to take the parts that work for you. If you love the clothing and you want to go to Nigeria and this resonates with you, that's beautiful. However, it doesn't matter what you wear. Ifa does not prescribe clothing. I said to myself, if I sit around here and work to try to understand this Yoruba language so that I can understand this religion, it's going to be a long time for me before I actually begin to make some progress. And that's not to say that this isn't for some people. Some people, they're going to learn Yoruba. That's what they're here to do. They will be the caretakers to keep this. I mean, for this religion to survive this transatlantic slave trade like this is amazing. This is a bad mamma jamma. These ancestors were not playing. They were like, we're going to keep this intact. And there's going to be people that's going to keep this tradition going. That's their job. But for me as a practitioner, I was like, if I got to sit around here and learn all these, I just would skip. I always go through the prayer in my mind, do my best pronouncing the words as I can. And then I go straight to English. All these, the prayers that they include, the Pakati, I do my best to look at them in Yoruba, but it's just like, I'm not even feeling spiritual sometimes when I'm reading these words because I don't know what they mean and I'm feeling frustrated. And then I'm wondering, am I saying I'm right or am I saying I'm wrong? I'm just going to skip to English. And maybe I'll turn on somebody saying them who does know how to speak these words. But it's heavy trying to take on a whole nother culture that you don't actually know anything about. And so what I decided to do was what we see a lot of people doing is, okay, what's the best of Buddhism? Meditation. That's like, everyone knows, you think Buddhism, you think meditation, baby. See, when I think Ifa, I think divination. When I think Ifa, I think wisdom. That's what Ifa is. It's wisdom. I know we talk about the Arisha, but the Arisha help, translate or bring forth the wisdom. It's all about wisdom. Live your life according to wisdom. And what I call it is the oracles. Live your life according to the oracles. What is Ifa teaching? That's what matters the most. I don't resonate with some of the ways of doing things. I've tried it. Okay. I'm not just saying this because, like, oh, I read this in a book and I'm like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. No, I've tried it. And I will say, it is a tradition that oftentimes it is better in community. However, a lot of us are practitioners. We're solo practitioners right here in our home. Even the folks in our house may not be doing this, right? So that's a part of our culture, though. It's a very individualized lifestyle for most of us in Western culture, no matter where you live in the world. And so this is your reality, that you will be doing this oftentimes alone. And so for me, it's about what can I take from Ifa that absolutely will make the difference. And I just say it's the wisdom of the oracles. It's the wisdom of the Arisha. Okay, so you know who rules your head. And then guess what most people say? Well, I don't know what to do. I was told this Arisha rule my head, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what to do. But if I say to you, number one thing with Ifa is understand the wisdom and apply it to your life. Then you say, okay, well, let's talk about Oshun. She's so popular. All right, it's Oshun. Well, Oshun, she has to do with creativity. Well, are you being creative? What are you creating in your life? And how can you take over creating more of what you want and less of what you don't want? Well, Oshun, she also has to do with being flexible. Okay, well, are you being flexible today? Have you been able to like give and take? Have you been able to adjust to the situation as it presents itself? And if you can't, then the question is, why not? How can you make yourself more like Oshun? See, that's how I work with this energy. I am going to listen to the wisdom. That's it for me. I'm just going to listen to the wisdom and allow the wisdom to lead, guide, and direct me. Y'all know I love astrology. But once I started studying astrology, first and foremost, everything that I study, it's like it brings out a deeper understanding. So when I first stepped onto just studying spirituality and just saying I'm not a part of religion, I began to understand the religion of my childhood even more, Christianity. I was like, oh, my husband is a pastor. I would hear him read certain things. I'm like, oh, that ain't nothing but Yemanja right there. Oh, okay, I see now. That's an Ogun sermon that you just preached. Right. It was like I just started seeing things, whereas before I couldn't see anything. I just felt wounded by that religion or not expansive. Then afterwards, I was like, oh. So once I started studying astrology, I was like, oh, I understand so much more about the Arisha or whatever it is. But I tell you what, I was like, astrology is very practical for me. It doesn't feel spiritual. So that's why I love having the Arisha and Ifa. I love finding an Odu that's spiritual, that helps me to be able to, you know, I don't know. I just mix and blend the wisdom of Ifa with whatever astrology says I need to be doing and focusing on right now. So let me see here. Okay, so right now I'm in a period of time in my astrology that is about emotions and bringing more health to my emotions, clearing out the old ones and becoming more mature emotionally. Who am I going to work with? Yemanja. I might wear more blue, or I might light my candle and say, Yemanja, this is what I'm feeling today. And I'm asking you to help me, with, being more mature emotionally or being more aligned emotionally with whatever's going on. She's gonna be like, baby, you have to do this on your own, but I'll give you some tools. I'll bring up something on your computer screen or I'll have somebody give you a call. I'll help bring it about. But at the end of the day, Yamonja gonna tell me, I'm not gonna come in and fix your problems. You're gonna have to fix your own stuff. But baby, I'm gonna help you out. Okay. Or maybe it's like, okay, I'm working with Yamonja. I'm gonna make sure I take more baths or drink more water, go to the river, go to the ocean. It's like I need this. I need this. So I get why people want it. But I think that the worst thing you can do is, first and foremost, just to think that there's something wrong. You can just do it wrong. That's oppressive. That's the way the oppressor wants us to think. Oh, you're gonna mess this up. Better be careful. That's some evil stuff. What? Are you kidding me? You can't mess it up. You can't mess it up because I just feel like Ifa calls people. The Arisha tradition calls you. The ancestors call you. The way to mess it up is, first and foremost, work with somebody and you don't listen to yourself, and they live in foul. They ain't treating you right. That's another thing. Stop handing yourself over to people. If you feeling like this ain't right with this particular priest or priestess, it ain't. And you can just walk away. Because we know when something feels right. Like, I never felt like something ain't right with my godparents. If I did, I would have walked. I had opportunities to work with other Ifa priests and priestesses. It didn't feel right. And so I was like, nah, Spirit didn't call me to work with y'all today. And so, yeah, trust your gut. Ask the Arisha, show me who I should work with. And so that's number one. Number two, don't act like you're going to be able to go and just adopt this whole 6,000-year-old religion and culture, because you cannot. Even the Yoruba of today, most of them, let me not say most, I don't know what percentage. If you tell them you initiated an Ifa, you will not get a good response from a lot of these people. I have yet to meet somebody who's in the United States and I say, oh, I'm initiated an Ifa, my name is Omilade. They're like, good. You initiated? That's evil. I'm like, really? Are you kidding me? That's why it's so popular over here, I think. The Ifa is like, we got to find somebody that's going to keep this thing going. So we're going to go over to the West and they're going to eat it up, right? So yeah, you don't have to adopt the whole culture. Now, you do need to have an understanding of what's the philosophy behind this religion, or, you do need to understand. You do need to understand what you're doing. You do. And then I just offer to you, what is the greatest gift that Ifa has offered? Wisdom. Follow the wisdom. Live the wisdom of Ifa. Knowing that you can do the deepest of the deep initiation. At the end of the day, baby, you going to have to do the work anyway. So you may as well just go on ahead and accept. Let me go get readings, see what the readings say to do. Let me, maybe you want to get your Elekes, whatever. Do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, it's about the wisdom. You need to be looking for people who are like, I'm asking you to listen to the wisdom of Ifa and apply it to your life. I'm only going to give you the rituals that you can use that will help you to apply this wisdom. And you should be seeing results. I get results from Ifa. But I don't work magic with Ifa. I work on my inner world. I work on my inner landscape, my mind, my body, my spirit, my emotions. This is what I use Ifa for. I use Ifa to effect change in me. I don't use Ifa to bring me more money. I don't use it as a magical tool. It is magical, but the magic is really in you. So yeah, this is something that I offer. Last thing I did want to tell y'all this is I'm going to just say this is for all of us who are in the diaspora, but especially those of us in the United States. I would say in the Americas, honestly. But number one, our patron Orisha is the ancestors. This is what my godfather taught me, and I've heard it spoken by Baba Obafemi of OIDSI. It's on a video. That's where I heard him say it. I don't know what his video is, but go to OIDSI, you'll see it. So that's one of the main things that's important for us. Why do we want to practice this religion? Because we need to heal our ancestral lineage. Okay, we need to heal our ancestral lineage. The other thing, oh my God, what was it that I was going to say? Dang. So maybe that was what I needed to say. That's not what I was going to say, but that's important to understand is, yeah, we're here to heal our ancestral lineage with this particular spiritual tradition. And that's another reason that perhaps you feel called, feel led to work with this tradition, but it doesn't necessarily require you to become a Yoruba. Like when people say, oh, I'm Yoruba. No, you're not. You practice an Ifa. You're practicing a spiritual tradition. Maybe you are. Like I do know I have, the blood in me. But really what we're doing is we are using this as a path to enlightenment. Okay. So whatever I forgot to say, I'm sure to come back once I turn off this camera. Anywho, I hope that this has been helpful. This is one person's understanding. This is one person's sharing. I'm not speaking for all of Ifa world. I'm not speaking for all of Arisha world. I'm only speaking for me. It hurts my feelings to see y'all so frustrated and stuck in your stumble and sad and scared working with this tradition. It hurts my feelings. It's not necessary. And so just take from it what matters the most, which is the wisdom. When you live the wisdom of Ifa, you will naturally begin to take on the philosophy of the great ancients. I'm not trying to take on the culture of the people that's over there right now. I'm just being 100. Okay? I'm just being 100. It's a lot going on. I got my own stuff going on over here. But the ones that are ancient, that group, they had a way of understanding the world that brought a lot of balance, that helped people to get on their path of towards their destiny. It's a beautiful way of living. They can help us. Once we begin to really study the wisdom, we can naturally begin to shape ourselves and shift ourselves into that way. Showing up in this world, you will be odd, and it's okay. Half the time, yeah, you'll feel a little odd, you'll feel a little off. But yes, so that's what I want to share with you all. Go for it. But by the same token, it's not, don't be so like trying to do it right and everything that you don't do it at all. You just stay stuck and running around in circles, and you don't get what Ifa is really about, which is balance and healing and destiny. This is Tirra Omilade. I hope that this has been helpful for you all. Yeah, if you want to know, I will put the way that I told people. If you want to work with my friend who's a Babalawo, you just have to send me an email. So I'll put my email address in the comment section, and you can contact him. You have to email me, and I will send you his phone number, because this is what he said to do. I will send you his phone number. And then several people have gotten their luckys with them that way. So yes, thank y'all so much. Take care. Appreciate you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.